All right, Harrison, if you would just talk to us about growing up in Abilene and kind of some of the things you remember from growing up out there.
It was a wonderful place to grow up. We lived at Fairway Oaks, right there on number 3, the dogleg left par 5. And it was a great place as far as it was safe. And there was a lot of kids that were my age. Great place to get introduced to the game of golf and tennis and racquetball. And you know, there were a lot of fields out there at the time. So we had plenty of space to ride our bikes and four-wheelers and stuff like that. We had a great time. For a young boy, it was kind of heaven.
All right. And you've kind of had a very interesting trip, last year or so. Talk about, last year, this is really where you got some traction. You started to turn things around. Talk about, did you have any idea coming into the Nelson last year that, maybe your game was coming into itself at that time?
No, I had no idea. I had been struggling so badly for so long. And I had taken off the 3 weeks before the Nelson, and I addressed a few issues that were bothering me, physically, emotionally, game-wise, equipment-wise, a lot of other things. I just kind of needed to hit the reset button. So when I came here, I was relaxed, I was peaceful, and I just played golf. It's always good to come home. All these guys in the red pants, they live in my community. They're people that I know. I feel like I'm at home, and it's not just because my house is here. It's because everybody embraces me.
Okay, and you had talked about moving on, and you kind of realized at the Colonial that maybe you were going to take another opportunity. What's that like playing when it's the last couple weeks? What was going through your mind during that time?
Well, I was pretty much past the teeth gnashing phase of it from a couple of months before. I had made my decision. I was ready to move on. I was at peace with it, and I wanted to play for the enjoyment of the game. I wanted to play to have that feeling of being nervous and being scared, one more time. And I just wanted to play for me and because I love the game instead of always worrying about, what people are thinking or worried about the money.
Okay, and what was it like playing out here when it was a tough, as I remember last year, tough conditions. You finished well, you finished in the top 20. Talk about what that week was like out here for you.
Well, the wind was howling. It was blowing 30 miles an hour out of the south every day, just like Abilene. And the conditions were very bouncy. It was hard to control your golf ball once it, not only in the air, but once it hit the ground. So, it was very familiar to me. I was comfortable. I knew that I didn't have to go shoot 65s to have a good week. So, anything around par was making up ground. So it was fun. I enjoyed it. Thankfully some of the other guys didn't like it as much.
I hear you. And there was a story that you almost didn't make it out to Memphis last year. What was that story?
Well, we played the U.S. Open qualifier the Monday of Memphis. And it was here in Dallas. It was 100 degrees. It was really humid. And 36 holes, and then had to go to a playoff afterwards. I was exhausted, and I was spent. So my wife tried to convince me to stay home and rest and don't go. And my caddy told me I was crazy. He said, "You're hitting the ball too well. You're playing well. You need to suck it up and, go get some Pedialyte and let's go." So I made that decision the night before and went ahead and went. Thank God I did.
Absolutely. And talk about that week, just how things kind of fell into place and what you were feeling out there at Southwind.
Well, it didn't start out great. I think I was 3 over par after 4 holes. And at that point, knowing where I was in my life, that I was going to walk away from the game, I just, instead of, getting mad and getting angry, I just stopped. Just stopped the noise, stopped the craziness, and just played golf like I was a kid again. I played from a deeper spot, and we stopped worrying about yardages, stopped worrying about, wind direction and results and everything else, and we just played golf and just hit shots, and it was a special week, not just for me but for my family, and it showed me a lot about what's in there and what I'm capable of if I just let go.
All right, and you get to the playoff. You're against Robert Carlson, who was there a year before, exact same position. What are you thinking when you get to 18T and you're about to start the playoff?
Well, I was thinking that I've made enough money now to make sure I have a job next year. So everything from here on out is gravy. Now, having said that, you want to win, right? That's what we try to do, and there was a time that I didn't think it was going to happen. But the competitive juices kick in, and immediately you focus, you kind of buckle down and pick your shots, and you're scared to death, but at the same time, he is too. So just stand up there, do the best you can, and try.
All right, and getting last couple questions. Getting that invitation from Augusta National, what was that feeling like for you?
You know what? It was a It's still hard to describe, but it's such a validation for what you've done and what you've gone through. You can't get a special exemption. You can't go Monday qualify. You earn your spot into Augusta, and there's only one way, and that's by playing well. So when I got that spot, I knew that I had accomplished something that was meaningful and something that was noticeable, around the world, or at least in our country, and it felt good. It was validation for me for many years of toil and struggle.
All right, and lastly, you got the 2-year exemption now. Where do you go from here?
Well, I'm trying to enjoy this game just a little bit more than I was the last few years. I'm trying to, reconnect and recommit to my family and my kids. I've got 3 young boys, 12, 9, and 5, and we're really busy and really chaotic. So I'm not going to go play 5, 6, 7 weeks in a row. I'm not going to beat myself up anymore. I'm going to play when it fits and play when it works, and try to enjoy no matter where I am. Try to enjoy it and try to be the best golfer I can when it's time to be a golfer. Try to be the best parent I can when it's time to be a parent.
All right.
So,
Thank you very much,
yeah,
Harrison.
sure.
I really appreciate your time. I know it's a busy week for you.
Yeah, no, not a problem. Enjoyed it.
Appreciate it.